All right, House of Pain fans, we are here to talk about last night's episode, Season 12, Episode 3, and the title is Less Boss Sauce. And the episode itself, I can't lie, I'm going to give it a solid 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. We could talk about the titular subject of the show itself, which was Floyd and Curtis, going off due to the fact that their sauce is being bootlegged. Now, long story short, Floyd was somewhere across town. Somebody mentioned the whole barbershop. Like, Floyd mentioned the barbershop. I'm like, nah, he didn't mention his barbershop specifically. He mentioned that there's a barbecue, not barbecue sauce. There's a barbershop, across town or downtown where he gets, himself shaped up. And then there's like a food truck. And I think he got some catfish or something. And there was some barbecue sauce that I believe the food truck man bought from like some, person's trunk or whatever. And it tastes just like their sauce because it is Curtis and Floyd's sauce. They just like, bought some of the real bottles and put in another bottle. You know how bootlegging works. So from there, it's a matter of Curtis and Floyd trying to get to the bottom of this. So they look at the address that's on the label of the barbecue sauce, but it turns out to be a dead end due to the fact that the address just led them to the location of a daycare center. But then Miranda brings up the fact that, wait a minute, so you're saying that somebody took your sauce, and then it turns out that online there's some posts where they are, where people are dragging Curtis and Floyd's sauce and, bigging up their own sauce. Like, hey, our sauce is way better than this trash that tastes like, old socks and whatever. And Miranda's like, well, they're slandering your name, stealing your product. You can sue them for that. But it turns out that neither Floyd or Curtis did the proper work, went through the proper channels to make sure the trademark was protected. That's why if you own anything, I don't care if you're a writer or whatever, make sure you got your copyright and all that stuff in order, because people can just steal from you. And if you don't have your ducks lined up, ducks in a row, or whatever you want to say, you can't get any money recouped. You pretty much can only hope that you can protect your brand. That way, in the event of, bootlegging and whatnot, you can actually make sure you can get justice for people stealing from you. So I think that was the underlying lesson of this episode, which was a good one, especially for Black-owned business. But aside from that, I do wish that we did get to see it. Just even if it was like a 2-minute scene, the way Floyd described it at the end of the episode, he and Curtis went down to this location, dressed up, suit and tie, acting like they were lawyers with cease and desist paperwork. And it turned out it was just some little young punk trying to make a name for himself, make it a bootleg side hustle. But yeah, I did mention this in the trailer breakdown I did for this episode. Floyd mentioning, a black gospel play and mentioning, Mama, is Medea my daddy? So yeah, there was some continuity there too, or fourth wall breaking, however you want to put it. But then again, it is kind of weird. Mama, is Medea my daddy? Even though Medea is canon to the House of Pain, Meet the Browns, Assisted Living, and Love Thy Neighbor universe. So it was just a throwaway line that was supposed to be funny, so I'm not going to like overthink it. But regardless, that's really it for the titular storyline of the episode. Now, the other part of the episode had to do with Malik and Lisa and their relationship. It's just the fact that at the beginning of the episode, Miranda's coming back home to bring Ella back home because she took her out for dinner for watching Christian. And Malik is actually in the house looking like Uncle Curtis himself in a robe, got a bowl of potato chips and everything. And it turns out he's just there for some me time because, between Lisa, the baby, and the twins over at his parents' house, he doesn't really have time to, himself. But it turns out he and Lisa have been going back and forth a lot lately, and it feels like their connection is kind of off. So Miranda and Ella actually arrange a date night, and Malik says, well, hey, I'm trying to save money, so I really can't afford to do that. But they're actually going to set it up in the backyard of, Curtis and Ella's house, where Ella will cook and, Miranda will help put it together. So he goes over to the house and Jasmine's there. But the thing is, when he comes in the door, Lisa and Jasmine sitting on the couch watching TV pretty much don't acknowledge his presence. But first things first, holy crap, we get Jasmine in the episode. Also, we actually have her and Lisa in a scene together. They interact a little, you know, but that's it. But it was good. It was just good to see it, you know, so no complaints there. But she does say that she is here to wash clothes because the laundromat or the washing machines or dryers at the, you know, on the campus laundromat don't, you know, buzz to let them know when the clothes are done. So I'm just going to take this as, even though Jasmine is going to take a hiatus from college, I'm going to assume she's going to finish out her current semester, which makes sense. I mean, when it comes to paying for tuition and, you know, room and board, you don't really get that money back if you leave halfway through the semester. So yeah, I guess there was some agreement made off screen where Jasmine's like, hey, I'm going to finish my current semester, and that way if I do decide to go back to school, then the classes I'm already taking, I already have the credit for, so there's no confusion there. So Malik gives Lisa, you know, or presents her with the idea for a date night, but she's like, no, you know, the baby's upstairs sleeping and everything, and I don't really think we can, you know, go out to a date night. But he does mention that Aunt Ella's cooking, and, you know, he talks to CJ about it real quick, and he actually, you know, applauds his son for stepping. This was probably one of my favorite CJ episodes. He only has the one scene, but, you know, there was a little of his classic pain sarcasm in there about, oh, he and Jasmine. Okay, yeah, $75, whatever it is, because they know when Malik comes to them for something that you know, is a favor. So at first, you know, Jasmine's like $75, but then for CJ it's $50. But in any case, it's for CJ to watch the kids to watch their child tonight while they go have a date night. And you know, CJ agrees, and he gives them fatherly advice, like, you know, hey, I mean, when me and your mom first got together, and, you know, we had some friction between us, and yeah, I mean, when we had, you know, you and then Jasmine, that has just added more to the plate. But yeah, sometimes we just need those moments to rekindle our relationship, and I'm proud of you for stepping up. But still $50 to watch your daughter. But yeah, that was pretty cool. I like that moment. And also at the beginning of the episode, it turns out they fight over little stuff like putting ketchup in and out of the fridge. Apparently Malik doesn't do that, and I don't have much to say because the characters in the show pretty much said, well, you don't want it to go bad. That's why you put it in the refrigerator at least after you've already opened the container. You know, it's like with me and barbecue sauce or whatnot. Yeah, you go in the store, it's quote unquote room temperature, but when you I think it's even on the label like, hey, after opening the bottle, place in refrigerator to, you know, maintain quality as opposed to it being spoiled. Sheesh. But then, you know, the whole over and under toilet paper, it's over. Only psychopaths do under with toilet paper. But yeah, it just seems that between their bickering, it's an underlying issue of not really having moments to themselves because they're always, you know, working in terms of either school or a job or their baby. So moving forward, let me check the notes here. Yeah, we skipped to the end of the going to the end of the episode where they're having a backyard dinner, and they pretty much discuss their issues, and really it's a matter of not really having time to themselves. Now, Ella comes out with some very good advice, and it's used, what is it, like the white chocolate strawberries? It's an analogy in regards to when it comes to relationships, it takes hard work. But if you put in the work, you know, your relationship will flourish as a result. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, but if you work together, you know, communicate effectively, you can move forward. And Miranda, you know, bringing up her own failed marriage and whatnot with Calvin, the foundation of why it fell apart was because they just both stopped working on it. But to be honest, you know, she was the one that walked out. So when I ain't pointing fingers. But yeah, that's really Miranda's, and this isn't a complaint, but it's just an observation. Her main thing when it comes to advising mainly Malik in his relationship, is the fact that, hey, look at me and your cousin, how we didn't work out is because of X, Y, and Z. So don't be like us. But it's just one of those situations where they agree to check in with each other, go out on more date nights, and Malik says, he'll help to give Lisa more breaks. 'Cause I think when he gets to the house and she and Jasmine are on the couch, it's like, so how was your day? It's like, oh yeah, it was good. What about you? Well, got the baby up, fed her, threw up on me, she cried, then she laid down again. So my question is this, and I'm just asking, Malik, we know, works a job and he goes to school, and and as a result he's trying to save money so he and Lisa can move out and get their own place, which, if I remember correctly, wasn't it season 10 when CJ mentioned that he and Janine had discussed it, they could give Malik and Lisa like a loan where it's like, hey, we can put up the money so you two can move out, but of course you would pay us back. That way the house isn't that crowded. And Malik doesn't want to do that because he doesn't want to be alone with Lisa, which is stupid on so many levels. But of course, to avoid a set piece that needs to be created for the show, they just opt to stay in CJ and Janine's house. But it's just one of those things where we know at the beginning of last season, Lisa talked about the interest in pursuing community college, or college in general, to get a degree. And we do know that instead of stripping, of course, she gave that up. She decided to switch to like a hostess at the club. But what does she do? Does she still work at all? I know she had side hustles like, selling jewelry and whatnot. She apparently has a decent following on social media. But what does she do? Does she still work, or is her role only being a stay-at-home mom? And if that's the case, it kind of mirrors the Curtis and Ella dynamic, where she was a stay-at-home mom and Curtis was the one out there doing the work. And that's not to say Malik shouldn't do anything to give Lisa a break, but it's just one of those things where I just it caught my attention. So they agreed to check in with each other and make sure the relationship is still tight. I know they had that debate about eating off each other's food or plate. Crap, I didn't do the clip. I have a lot of videos I haven't edited yet, but I'll talk about it more in that scene. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about somebody taking food off my plate, especially if we had the same food, but whatever. So that's really the episode in itself. I thought it was pretty solid. It really was. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.